Welcome to this DaVinci Resolve Fusion node breakdown. Today's node is the time speed node. So we're going to jump into Fusion where we have some footage, and I'm going to hit Shift Space and search for the TIME speed node. Now I'm going to be covering today the time speed node, and then tomorrow we're going to cover the time stretcher. And then after that, we're going to cover the optical flow node. And there's settings within the time speed and the time stretcher under the interpolation mode, which is flow. And these flow on both of them, the flow on the time stretcher, require the optical flow node. And the optical flow node requires something afterwards to see what the optical flow node is doing. So it's kind of the chicken or the egg, what came first. So today and tomorrow, I'm going to cover the nearest in the blend on the time speed. And tomorrow I will cover the nearest in the blend on the time stretcher. And then the day after that, when I cover optical flow, I will revisit both of these nodes and we'll cover the flow settings, because they're basically the same for the time speed and for the time stretcher. So don't fret, we are going to cover optical flow, and we'll come back to that in a few days. So time speed, we're going to go ahead and input our time speed onto our footage. And what the time speed node does is allows you to speed up, slow down, reverse, or delay, or freeze frame footage. And if you notice here, there's no animate button on the speed. And this is because it is not desirable to animate the speed from this node. It could cause some pretty serious issues. So this is kind of a one and done setup for the actual speed. Now there are other settings that can be animated, but your speed itself is going to be not animated. So like I said, you can speed up, slow down, freeze footage. So we've got this footage, and this is the normal speed. It's slowed down footage, you can tell. But up here we have speed control, and this number represents percentage. So right now 1 is 100%. If I change it to 0.5, that's 50% speed. If I change it to 2, that's 200% speed. So let's flip this back down to 0.5. So that in a nutshell is what the time speed node does. Speeds up or slows down your footage. Now, all the other settings in it kind of determine how your speed looks, how your footage looks. But before that, we have this delay. And what the delay does is it delays the footage playback. So if we're, say, on frame 30 and I want to delay it 35 frames, you can see it's not going to start playing until we hit frame 35. And you can go negative, minus 35. So we can play more of the footage back. So let's reset that. And that just delays the beginning or the ending of your footage. And let me revisit speed. You can actually go negative on your speed. So if I did -1, that means our footage is now playing in reverse. And you can use percentages as well. So if I want to do -2, so that's -200%. So we can change our speed. Let's go ahead and reset that to 0.5. Now right here, your interpolation modes. These are what's going to determine how good or bad your footage looks when it's interpolating those frames. Meaning, if we slow our frames down, it has to add frames between frames to keep our time settings. And if we speed it up, it has to delete frames. So how it looks when it's going from one frame to the other is what this interpolation mode does. And what the nearest does is it offers pretty much the most efficient processing for your computer, but it's the least sophisticated. And it's going to either drop frames if you're in fast motion or just duplicate frames if you're in slow motion. So if we say drop this to 0.25, and we play back, all it's doing is duplicating frames to fill in those frames. So you can see it's going to be kind of jittery. That's not a playback speed, that's actually how it looks. It's going to be a little jittery. And if we speed it up, it's going to drop frames. Your next mode is blend, and the blend is fairly efficient on your processor, but it does produce a little smoother results, because what it's going to do is going to use adjacent frames to duplicate or dissolve together to kind of smooth out the motion. So let me find a spot where we can really look at this. Right there. So I'll zoom into her hand so we can see what's happening with these frames. So under the blend mode, we have this sample spread. And what the sample spread is doing is it's giving you the ability to change how your previous and next frames are blended together. So if I say 0.5 or 50% blend, what it's going to do is you're going to see the previous frame and the next frame and not the current frame. It's going to drop that current frame. So if I want all 3 frames in there, I would have to say like 0.3333%. So now we've got all 3 frames showing. And all the way down, it's going to drop the last frame. So this just depends on how you want your look. And it will make, sorry about that, it will make a difference on how your footage looks. So if I play this and I change the sample spread, or if I have it in the middle or 0.3, you can see that's changing how your footage looks. And your freeze frame button right here does exactly that. It freezes your frame. So if we go back and play, we select what frame we want to freeze on, we can freeze that frame. And even though we have the ability to animate this, your freeze frame is not animatable. So I know that would be an awesome effect if we could just kind of freeze frame through playback, but you are really not able to do that with this node. And you would think, okay, let's delay it 33. So let's go ahead and add a keyframe right there. Delay it 33. We'll go here and we'll say delay it 15. We'll go here and we'll delay it back. And if we play it back, you can see it's really not working. So in between these keyframes, it's doing something weird. So it's not going to work the way you think it would work to freeze and then freeze and then freeze. So that is the time speed node. And like I said, tomorrow we will cover this flow option, which is the advanced options and really the mode you're normally going to use when we use this node. So I will see you in tomorrow's node breakdown.